Hello and welcome to Pardon My German for a video that will bring back lots of memories to me, because it was right here, right at this hotel in Koblenz, where we spent the first 2 weeks of our 9 months of temporary exile following the flood in the Ahr Valley a bit over 4 years ago. So this is my second revisit here to Koblenz ever since. It's a beautiful city. I hope you will enjoy our little trip here to Koblenz. And if you do, then please give the video a like and consider subscribing. Thank you. Not far from that hotel is this palace, the residence of the last Prince-Bishop of Trier, Clemens Wenceslaus of Saxony, a grandson of Augustus the Strong. In the 19th century, it was a temporary residence of the Prussian heir apparent, who would be Emperor Wilhelm I. Here is some considerably older footage from inside the palace. After Prussia had taken over the Rhineland, Koblenz became the capital city of the newly established Rhine province. There are some 19th century administrative buildings like this one, not far from the Palace Park on the banks of the Rhine. Here is the same building on a sunnier day in 2022. Across the river, Ehrenbreitstein Fortress. What looks a bit like a UFO has just landed is in fact the western station of a funicular across the Rhine, established in 2011 for a federal gardening exhibition. We used the Funicular in 2022. It is a fairly spectacular experience. While we did not visit the fortress, we did have a view of Koblenz from an outlook. Another recommendable activity is taking a boat trip of Koblenz on Rhine and Mosel. So, and as I titled this video, one of Germany's most underrated cities, and I will explain you soon why I think it is. Koblenz, the name is of Latin origin, confluentus, confluence, because it's right here where the Mosel flows into the Rhine. And of course in this neighborhood you have a number of cities like downstream the Rhine, you have Bonn, you have Cologne, of course. Upstream you have Mainz, upstream the Mosel, you have Trier. And unfortunately Koblenz often gets overlooked in this neighborhood, which is really a bit unfair, as I hope you will see in this video. Deutsches Eck, the German corner, is the name of this spot where the Mosel flows into the Rhine. It is dominated by this huge monument of Emperor Wilhelm I. Here we have parts of the Berlin Wall to commemorate the victims of Germany's division. The name German Corner stems from this building, the Deutsche Ordenshaus, former commandery of the Teutonic Order. The nearby Basilica of St. Kastor is the oldest remaining church of Koblenz. It dates back to the 9th century. We walk upstream on the Mosel embankment. Here we have the old castle, dating back to the 13th century. On Florin's market, we have a number of historic buildings, like the Bürgersheimer Hof, which between 1848 and 1938 served as the city's synagogue. Right next to it is the Old Store, a late Gothic building from the early 15th century. The Church of St. Florin was worked on during my recent visit. Here's some older footage to give you an idea what the church looks like. St. Florin, built around 1100, was a collegiate church which was secularized by the French in the early 19th century. In 1820 it was handed over to Koblenz's Protestants. Nearby, some more historic buildings like the Three Kings House built in 1701 and the house of the Chandler Guild. Another major church is the Liebfrauenkirche, the Church of Our Lady. This is a lovely pair of sculptures, the Market Woman and the Constable. The so-called Four Towers are an ensemble of historic buildings from the late 17th century. Finally, Jesuitenplatz, Jesuit Square, dominated by the city's town hall. The interior of the neighboring church is very modern. Behind the town hall, there is this fountain. The Schengel is a somewhat wild and unruly boy, so don't get too close. And another fountain, built to celebrate Koblenz's 2000th anniversary in 1992.
We're almost back to where we started our excursion of Koblenz, here at Forum Confluentes. And just in case you need a bit more inspiration why you should visit Koblenz, and perhaps not just for a day, then there's a number of places that I've already presented on this channel that are very close to Koblenz, as is Andernach, as is Rhine, as is Bad Ems, and of course first and foremost Montreal, this lovely little town that looks like it came straight from a fairy tale. And in case you like to go hiking and consider a hiking vacation here in the area, Koblenz is an excellent place to stay because all the Traumpfade, the dream paths, are really very nearby. So I hope I've inspired you a bit to visit Koblenz, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.